Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring Labyrinths and Secret Chambers. This is a supplement, or perhaps you could say a toolkit, for KULT Divinity Lost. If you haven't seen my other KULT reviews, please check out the playlist in the description below. This contains 100 maps and floor plans, but you also have information and details on how to tie them to the setting, information concerning the demonic and angelic powers of this Gnostic horror setting. Now let's talk about the quality of the PDF. When you purchase Labyrinths and Secret Chambers, you obtain two files: a maps and floor booklet and the book itself. The booklet contains highly detailed maps where you can appreciate the architecture, the furniture, and the maps contained in the book are more simplified versions. They can be used to create your own maps or modify them however you wish. The document itself is fully bookmarked, so it's going to be very easy for you to navigate your way through the entire PDF. The graphic design is superb, as well as the illustrations, very dark, bleak, expressing an existential hopelessness. Everything is well written, explained, and organized. The entire document looks very elegant and disturbing at the same time. Now let's talk about the contents. The world around us is a labyrinth. The twisted streets, the stairs, the rooms, the forests, and the noisy highways are all part of a complex, branching, multi-cursal puzzle for us to get lost in. We try to make sense of the world around us by mapping it, naming it, and marking it so that we find a way through the areas that we recognize. This is to no avail because the illusion may reform the world around us. Streets may disappear, paths may open to metropolis and dark landscape. We may enter the borderlands of dream and madness, when time and space move differently, and come close to the realm of Inferno, where our fear and guilt comes to life. Our lives within the illusion are themselves a labyrinthine existence, with twists and turns, dead ends, successes and failures, joys and sorrows, and a search for meaning and some sort of escape. But the world as a labyrinth does not only mean that we are trapped in a place of horror and isolation, it is also a world of discovery. Who knows what exists behind that door at the end of the alley? Where does that stair lead? Open the gate, enter the labyrinth, and discover its horror, beauty, and secrets. The maps and floor plans in this book are meant as a resource for creating and describing locations, as well as tools that can fuel your imagination as a game master. You can see them as something you can pull out during play, or muse over them when you are preparing sessions during the downtime phase. The maps and floor plans are numbered, and in this book you will find 3 short descriptions for each map that give suggestions of what the maps may represent. These descriptions are purely meant as inspiration and suggestions, and the maps are in no way limited to this. Each map, as I stated earlier, exists in 2 versions, one that is more stylized and detailed with furniture and textures, and one version that is clean and can be suitable as a template for creating completely new maps. To ground the player characters in the setting, you may give each player a floor plan to represent a home, or a place where the character is usually comfortable in. When creating your character, or perhaps during key moments in the scenario, you can answer some questions such as: what does that character keep hidden in his apartment or home? Who has the spare key to that place? What needs to be fixed? And what does that character offer guests during a visit? If a character is particularly familiar with a structure or a building, maybe that player can take one of these plans or maps and describe the area to the other players as they are making plans. What kind of people go there? Who are you worried you might run into? What makes this place stand out? Perhaps you can locate some rooms, and then the player could say something like, "There is a small room in the east section of that building. We can lay low in that room and carry out our ambush from there." Now let me give you a few examples of these maps. You have map 1. It could be a run-down apartment, with cockroaches that scatter away, or yellowed and stained bedsheets. Maybe it's a student residence, with turquoise walls. The shower drips endlessly, Perhaps it is a mystic's home, windows covered with velvet drapes, and there are tarot cards spread on the table. You have map 16. Maybe it's an old mansion. Light switches spark when turned on. Maybe there are ancestral portraits, all with the same face. Maybe it's a private hunting retreat. There is a banquet hall with bones thrown into the fireplace. Maybe it's the Mad Bishop's palace, with a horrid smell coming from the kitchen area. Map 35 could be a slaughterhouse, with cramped pens holding cattle. Maybe it's an abandoned abattoir, and you find a used condom there. Maybe it's a hardcore death club, and naked people are being led like cattle. Map 52 could be a Gothic cathedral. Stone gargoyles are on the roof. Maybe it's a romantic goth club, and there is a stylized king show on stage. Perhaps it's the home of the Nephirite ogre. There is an iron cage next to an altar, and there is an infant there, making happy cooing sounds. Map 67 could be a sewer system, with large round channels made of brick. Maybe it's the home of the outcasts. There is a toothless homeless man gathering trash from the storm drains. Maybe it's somewhere deep, deep down, and blind cultists walk in procession downwards. Map 92 could represent the catacombs in Inferno. Echoing hymns and chants mix with panicked screams. Maybe it's the Cotoner birth chambers, and there are lobotomized humans hooked up to feed and waste tubes. Maybe they are the Black Oubliettes. When touching one of the doors, a memory manifests in the air in front of you, then it is forever gone. Map 99 could represent the labyrinth in Gaia. A strange twilight glow comes from far above. Maybe it's a military experiment site, and you can hear the sound of something moving further up ahead. Maybe it's a Razite creation chamber, with basins of putrefied bodies and slabs of flesh. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, I am going to tell you how the lore of this book ties the maps and the plans together to the angelic and demonic powers of KULT Divinity Lost. There are many more maps, many plans to represent areas in the wilderness, in the streets, within the city, large buildings, small buildings, parks, and even places from beyond the material cage. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.